Well, hello everybody. After a long gap, we are back with the HW podcast. Here we talk about issues, especially that have taken place in this week, and especially topics that have made it to national headlines that dominated the news. So today, first of all, as I said, welcome, because welcome to us also, welcome to you also. It has been long for us. And here with me today is our managing editor, Mr. Sujit Nair. He has joined us after a long gap, and he is also doing his editorials once again. So please go to HW News English and check out the editorials also. And we have with us our colleague from HW News Hindi, Vinay Mishra. So Vinay, Sujit sir, both of you, welcome to HW podcast. So today, Vinay, what exactly are we going to talk about?
आरती, हम आज 2-3 विषयों पर बात करने वाले हैं। एक जो राजनीति से जुड़ा विषय है वो यह है कि नितिन गडकरी जिस तरीके से उन भारतीय जनता पार्टी के भीतर उनके कद को छोटा किया जा रहा है, या फिर एक तबके की ओर से यह भी कहा जा रहा है कि उनके पर कतरे जा रहे हैं, तो उस विषय पर हम आज थोड़ी बहुत बातचीत करेंगे। और एक हमारे समाज के लिए एक ऐसी कह सकते हैं कि शर्मनाक घटना हुई है, जो गोधरा की रहने वाली बिल्किस बानो हैं, उनके जो दोषी थे उनको जिस तरीके से रिहाई दी गई है गुजरात सरकार की ओर से, तो उसके भी कुछ पहलुओं पर हम आज अपनी बात रखेंगे।
Well, these are the two topics that we are going to talk about today. Sujit sir, would you like to say something before we get into the topic?
No, Bilkis Bano has put our heads down in shame, so there's no question about that. And it is possibly one of the worst things that has happened, at least in my mind, in the recent past. Not in the recent past, for the last maybe century. I mean, this is one of the worst things that has happened. This is my personal view, of course. I don't. This is not the view of the channel, but it is my personal view that it is possibly one of the worst things that has happened in India in the last 100 years.
Well, the way we look at it is the way these convicts were released by a panel that was formed by Gujarat government. I think many of you must have also seen that video clipping in which one of the MLAs belonging to that area, I think his name was some Rahul Ji. He also commented on the character of the convicted persons. He said that their behavior and their character inside the jail was good. They were all Brahmins. He also mentioned that their caste was also mentioned, and he also sort of tried to justify their release by stating their caste and their good behavior inside the prison. But I think the one point that we miss here is how Bilkis Bano has suffered over the years. I mean, for a victim to go through what all she went through, I think we have all talked about it enough, so I won't be repeating what exactly she went through on that unfaithful day during the Godhra communal riots. But that being said, what she went through and what she is going through still is something that we have to consider when we talk about the release of the convicts. It cannot be just about the convicts being released and their good behavior. It also has to be about the victim who suffered because of their deeds.
बिल्कुल, जिस पीड़ा को उन्होंने सहा, फिर उनकी लड़ाई भी इतनी आसान तो नहीं रही थी। बिल्कुल काफ़ी कुछ उनको मतलब लड़ना पड़ा न्याय के लिए। न्याय मिला, उसके बाद में इस तरीके से जो दोषी हैं वे फिर से मतलब ऐसा भी नहीं है कि मतलब वो अब उनका आमना सामना भी हो सकता है। कई बार वो जेल से रिहा होने के बाद में उसी क्षेत्र में, उसी इलाके में रहते हैं, तो हो सकता है कि कभी आमना सामना हो जाए। तो वो जो एक पीड़ा रही होगी, जो उन्होंने इतने सालों में भूलने की कोशिश की होगी कि जो हो गया सब कुछ वो बीत गया, लेकिन जब उनके चेहरे वे वापस देखेंगी तो वो एक जो ऐसा होता है कि आप एक घाव में एक मिर्च कुरेदने का काम वो करेगा। तो ये जो मतलब उन्होंने पीड़ा सही है, वो पीड़ा अब वो कहीं ना कहीं उनके दिमाग में, उनके जहन में वो अभी तक वो भरा तो नहीं होगा। और ये जो रिहाई है इनकी, बिल्कुल वो उनको और भी पीड़ा देगी। उनका बयान भी है, उन्होंने बोला कि उन्हें एक बिना डर के जीने का अधिकार उनको चाहिए। और समाज के कई वर्गों से इसकी जो है आलोचना की जा रही है कि गुजरात सरकार ने जो ये कदम उठाया है, रिहाई की है इन दोषियों की, तो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। और एक हमारे समाज के या हमारे जो तंत्र है, हमारा जो सिस्टम है, उसके दोहरे मानदंड को भी मतलब दिखाता है कि कहीं कहीं पे ऐसा देखा जाता है कि जब इस तरीके की जघन्य अपराध होते हैं, घृणित अपराध होते हैं, तो फिर लोगों की जो भावनाएं होती हैं वो उस समय ऐसी होती हैं कि इन्हें कठोरतम सज़ा दी जानी चाहिए, इन्हें ये समाज में एक बहुत बड़े धब्बे के रूप में उन्हें देखा जाता है। और लेकिन जो यहाँ पर अभी सत्तारूढ़ दल है, उसके नेताओं या फिर जो शीर्ष पे बैठे लोग हैं, उन वो मतलब भाषणों में कुछ और बयान देते हैं फिर, लेकिन इस पूरे प्रकरण पर अब तक उनकी चुप्पी कहीं ना कहीं और भी ज़्यादा लोगों को चुभ रही है। तो मेरा ये मानना है कि जो गुजरात सरकार ने फैसला लिया है, इसे रेक्टिफाई किया जा सकता है, इसे बदला जा सकता है, और एक संदेश हमारे समाज को जाएगा कि गलत गलत होता है, भले वो किसी भी वर्ग, किसी भी समुदाय, किसी भी मतलब चाहे वो महिला हो या कुछ भी हो, तो अगर उनके साथ अन्याय हुआ है तो उसी दृष्टि से सरकार सबको देखती है। अगर गुजरात सरकार अपने फैसले पर पुनर्विचार करती है और उसे सुधारने की कोशिश करती है तो।
Sujit, do you think this remission, citing the 1992 the policy of the Gujarat government, was valid?
See, Arti, a crime is a crime is a crime. Now, a crime cannot be associated with a date. So, if you do this crime before this date, the punishment is X. If you do the crime after this date, the punishment is Y. I do not accept that. I am not willing to accept that as a solution. I mean, that's wrong. That's my personal view, with all due respects to the Honorable Supreme Court, but that's my personal view. I mean, 1992, because they did they raped and they killed in 2002, so 1992 applies. Had they done that maybe in 2017, then 2015 rules would apply. How fair is that? So that's the first thing. Second thing, Arti, I want to add on to what Vinay said. Arti, you know what? It is the hurt of Bilkis Bano. You know, we need to empathize, not sympathize, but empathize, understand her hurt. This girl saw this pregnant girl saw her 3-year-old being killed in front of her. 6 of her family members over and above that being killed in front of her. She was gang raped. She expected the state to protect her, so she went to court. She found that she was not getting justice in court, so she had to fight for that justice. After losing a child, after losing 6 members of her family, she had to fight. It's not the convicts who fought. It is the victim who had to fight. She had to take her case to another state. She had to fight. She took this case to another state, she fought, and finally she got justice. At least that is what she thought at that point in time, 2008, when these 11 people were convicted. And then comes a time in 2022 where these 11 people were left free. You think about what happens to that lady. You know, a rape victim, the trauma doesn't end with rape. The trauma starts with rape, because that trauma remains with her for the rest of her lives. As a civil society, what our job is to ensure that you heal your sisters, your mothers, you know, who's the victim. You heal. That's what the society you need. That's what we need to do as civil society. And the way you heal is by standing by the victim. The way you heal is by telling her that somebody, whoever did whatever to you is wrong, was wrong, and we are going to punish them. And the society collectively should punish the perpetrator. That's how you help. Not that will heal the victim completely, but at least that process starts. Because she starts believing what happened to her was wrong, and she starts believing that the society is with her. That is the process of healing. By remission, Arti, answering your question, you have disrupted that process of healing. You've hurt her more. And that's the worst thing that can happen. That's the worst thing that can happen to a civilized society. And what are we saying to the world? That you can rape, you can kill, and when there's a way out, the government will let you out. Is that the message that you're sending to people? That's the question I would ask, and that's what hurts me more. And that's why I said I think a lot of people tell me that I overreact when I say that it is possibly one of the worst things that has happened in this century in this country. And I say it is one of the worst things that has happened in this century for the simple reason that, we can't protect our child. If we can't protect our girl child, what society are we? If we can't take care of a girl child, what society are we? If we can't take care of the safety of a girl child, what society are we? So that's my point of view, Arti.
Well, and I think what personally hurt me is the double standard of the society. Members, I think during Nirbhaya, and rightly so, I remember I was in college, you must be in college also. I remember even the college students speaking up about this. Every day we used to talk about what happened and how it was wrong, and how collectively people also took part in protest, candlelight marches, and so that the perpetrators were brought to justice. Ensured that there is enough pressure on the government to bring the culprits, to catch the culprits and bring them to justice. There were social media campaigns, as I said, candle march and protest by the student bodies as well, civil society as well. This time around, however, we see there are only few voices that are cropping up and talking about this. From Nirbhaya to Bilkis Bano, what changes? It's the women ultimately who are suffering. We ensured justice in Nirbhaya's case. Here, in this case, the justice was disrupted. And what are we doing? We have all seen the videos of those convicts being welcomed back into the society. They were garlanded, they were fed sweets. There was almost a celebratory mood there when they were released. So, how can we accept this as a civilized society?
बिल्कुल यही एक बड़ा सवाल है कि एक समाज के तौर पर हम इस तरीके के जो मानसिकता है इस तरीके की उसको कैसे स्वीकार कर पा रहे हैं, और ये बहुत एक चिंता का विषय है। और ये हमें सोचने पर मजबूर कर रहा है कि हमारे समाज में, हमारे लोगों के साथ में, हमारे बहुत कुछ एक गड़बड़ हो रहा है जो हमें समझ में नहीं आ रहा। अगर हम ऐसी चीज़ों को देखते हुए, सुनते हुए उस पर ना कुछ प्रतिक्रिया दे पा रहे हैं, हम चुप बैठे हैं, तो एक ऐसा एक अंदर ही अंदर एक सवाल पैदा होता है कि ये हम किस ओर बढ़ रहे हैं। और वो तो जवाब नहीं मिलता, लेकिन ऐसा आभास ज़रूर होता है कि हम कहीं ना कहीं बहुत ही एकदम गंभीरता से कुछ ना कुछ तो गड़बड़ हो रहा है हमारे साथ में, जो हम चुप हैं और इसके लिए ज़्यादा आवाज़ नहीं उठा रहे हैं या फिर मांग नहीं कर रहे हैं। बदला कुछ नहीं आती। तो अगर निर्भया केस के बारे में बात की जाए या फिर अभी के जो पीड़ा थी एक रेप विक्टिम के तौर पे, वो खुद वही समझ सकती हैं, उसके बारे में क्या ही कहा जा सकता है। लेकिन ये जो लोगों की जो आवाज़ थी, जिन्होंने सरकारें या फिर हमारे जो एक न्यायपालिका पर भी थोड़ा बहुत प्रेशर आया था कि एक जो उनको सज़ा मिले उससे एक मिसाल पैदा हो लोग, ताकि इस तरह की घटना दोबारा ना दोहरा सके। लेकिन यहाँ पर ऑलरेडी घटना हुई है और जिस तरीके से दोषियों को बरी किया गया वो वाकई मतलब ऐसा लगता है कि भयावह है।
जी, the whole point is, the concluding point here is that the administration, that the competent authority should take note of this and should ensure that people's faith in justice is not shaken. I think that would be the concluding point.
बिल्कुल यही कि अभी भी ऐसे सुप्रीम कोर्ट में भी मामला जाना है, सरकार भी पुनर्विचार कर सकती है। तो उम्मीद है कि कुछ इसमें सकारात्मक कदम उठाए जाएंगे और एक जो पीड़ित है उसे और पीड़ा नहीं सहने दिया जाएगा, उससे जो न्याय मिला था वो उसके साथ रहने दिया जाएगा, उसे बिना डर के जो भी उसकी बची कुची जिंदगी है वो व्यतीत करने दी जाएगी.
Well, I think Vinay made a very valid point that her dignity was snatched from her. Her bodily autonomy was snatched from her when she was raped in 2002. At least what we can do as a society, at least what we can do as a civilized nation is not snatch the justice that was given to her by the courts of this country. Let's move on to the next topic. The next topic is about the what do you say, the removing of Gadkari from the topmost political body in BJP, the Bharatiya Janata Party. I think one very interesting incident about Nitin Gadkari is that the Bharatiya Janata Party once even amended its constitution, made some changes to its constitution to make Nitin Gadkari to extend his tenure as the president of the party, and it happened just maybe 10 years ago or so. And within 10 years, you see how politics changes. Within 10 years, now we have seen that he is out of the topmost political body in BJP. Sujit, I would like to ask you this. What do you think about this removal of Nitin Gadkari from BJP's parliamentary board? Is it a sign for coming times?
Okay, I'll tell you about this. This is very interesting. You need to give me 2 minutes for this, because you see, if you actually see, every political party, it grows so big that the other political party or the opposition party is no longer relevance to them. But normally the breakup happens from within. I will tell you what I mean by this. Indira Gandhi and Congress became so big in the 70s that she was almost impregnable. She was impossible. She couldn't be defeated. Where did the problem come in from? Of course, there was Jayaprakash Narayan, but then people like Morarji Desai, who were in Congress, who were senior leaders in Congress, went out and made Janata Party, defeated Congress. Correct? We also saw that during Rajiv Gandhi. Rajiv Gandhi was almost, dominating. There was no opposition in the parliament. It was only Congress and Congress. There was no opposition, absolutely no opposition. Where did the opposition come from? Not from an opposition party or an ideology. Opposition came from VP Singh. Opposition came from VP Singh, and VP Singh disrupted that party and started and got Janata Dal and the third front experiment operational. So, BJP as a party is a party who does not think about tomorrow, it thinks about the day after. It's always a party that has its vision on the future. Number one. Number two is, like everybody says, it's constantly in election mode. Now let's look at Bharatiya Janata Party. Bharatiya Janata Party too, if you see, then the opposition is almost not there. India is becoming a single party democracy. There is no opposition. So then where will the opposition come from? Opposition will come. But where will the opposition come from? From within. And that is exactly what Bharatiya Janata Party just dismantled, just got rid of. That opposition that could have come from within that political party, and that opposition was Nitin Gadkari. That opposition was not so much so Shivraj Singh Chauhan, but Shivraj Singh Chauhan was, I think, collateral damage. But Shivraj Singh Chauhan, once again, also in 2014, 2016, was seen as somebody who could replace Modi at some point in time, mind you. He was a senior leader. He's been a chief minister for the longest time, so he was seen as a leader who could replace Modi. But whether that would happen now or not is a different issue. But like I said, one can see that as a collateral damage. But what really happened was with Nitin Gadkari is the strategy. That you see, the chances of an uprising now is from within the party and not from outside. So therefore, the decision with Nitin Gadkari, and that's the way I see it, Arti.
Well, but Nitin Gadkari was also seen as a blue-eyed boy of RSS. He came from Nagpur. He had a really good relations with RSS Sarsang Chalak, Mohanji Bhagwat, and other leaders of RSS as well. So when you discard a leader like this from the top parliamentary body of the Bharatiya Janata Party, whose parent body is considered as RSS is considered as parent body of the Bharatiya Janata Party, what message do you also send to Sangh?
संघ के लिए तो यहाँ पर ज़रूर मतलब मैसेज होगा ही, लेकिन कुछ संघ के जैसे BL संतोष हो गए या फिर ऐसे कुछ संघ से जुड़े लोगों को जगह भी मिली है। लेकिन यहाँ पर सबसे बड़ा आरती यहाँ पे जो मुझे दिखाई दे रहा है कि जो एक पावर का केंद्र होता है वो बदला है। एक दौर था जब नितिन गडकरी पार्टी के प्रेसिडेंट हुआ करते थे, उस समय पे अमित शाह जब उनको तड़ीपार किया गया था तो ऐसा सुनने में आया कि घंटों घंटों तक उन्होंने इंतज़ार करवाया अमित शाह को मिलने से उनसे। और नितिन गडकरी ही थे जो कि गुजरात में, उनका नाम मुझे नहीं याद आ रहा है, एक नेता थे जिनको पैरेलली मोदी के खड़ा किया जा रहा था, बाद में फिर उनको इस्तीफा देना पड़ा मोदी के दबाव में। और अब अगर बात की जाए तो नितिन गडकरी को सिर्फ व्यक्तिगत वजहों से तो जब वो 2014 में मंत्री बने थे पहली बार, तब से ही मतलब उनके पर थोड़े थोड़े कतरे जाने शुरू हो गए थे। लेकिन कई मौके ऐसे भी है जहां पर जो नितिन गडकरी के जो बयान थे वो पार्टी के लिए कहीं ना कहीं मतलब विपक्षी दलों के लिए जो विपक्ष में थे उनको एक मौका दे देते थे सरकार को घेरने के लिए। चाहे उनका यह बयान हो कि न तो अटल आडवाणी ने कभी मतलब की बीजेपी थी या फिर वो दो लोगों की वजह से चलती थी ना, आज अमित शाह और मोदी की वजह से चलती, ये उनका बयान है। उसके बाद में उन्होंने अभी कुछ दिन पहले ही एक बयान दिया था कि जो मौजूदा राजनीति है वो सिर्फ सत्ता पाने के लिए होती है, पहले लोगों के जो मुद्दे होते थे लोगों के कल्याण के लिए उसकी राजनीति होती थी। या फिर उनका ये कहना हो कि वे चाहते हैं कि कांग्रेस जैसी जो विपक्षी दल है वो मजबूत बनी रहे या उससे ही लोकतंत्र को फायदा है। तो ऐसे तमाम जो कह सकते हैं नितिन गडकरी के बयान हैं, वो राहुल गांधी को भी उन्होंने मौका दिया या फिर बहुत सारे और भी ऐसे विपक्षी दलों को मौका दिया कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी को घेरने के लिए। तो यह भी एक वजह हो सकती है जिससे अमित शाह और जो मोदी की ये जो जोड़ी है इनको काफ़ी ज़्यादा मतलब शर्मिंदगी का सामना करना पड़ा। कई बार तो नितिन गडकरी के बयान के बाद में उनको बचाव भी करना पड़ा कि नहीं उनका मकसद किसी और ऐसा कहने के लिए था। तो ये सब भी एक वजह हो सकती हैं। और दूसरी बात ये है कि हाँ, ये संघ के लिए भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा कहा जा रहा है कि उनके लिए ऐसा होगा कि इतने ज़्यादा वो संघ के करीब रहे हैं और अगर उनका मतलब इस तरीके से पार्टी में वो एकदम विलुप्ति के कगार पे पहुंच जाते हैं, उनका नामो निशान अगर मिटाने की कोशिश की जा रही है पार्टी के अंदर से, तो ये संघ की भी एक बड़ी हार होगी क्योंकि संघ से इतना ज़्यादा करीबी होने के बावजूद उन्हें इस तरीके से मतलब साइडलाइन किया जाएगा।
Sujit, what do you think about this?
I beg to differ with Vinay. I'll tell you why. You see, Bharatiya Janata Party, there is a pre-2014 Bharatiya Janata Party and a post-2014 Bharatiya Janata Party. The pre-2014 Bharatiya Janata Party was it's a complete different brand character. The character of that particular party was completely different to the post-2014 brand character of Bharatiya Janata Party. Hazar things has changed. Important people have changed. The importance of people have changed.
Correct.
Okay? So there are two Bharatiya Janata parties. Likewise, there are two Sanghs. There are two RSS. One is the pre-2014 RSS. One is the post-2014 RSS. Does Mr. Hosbale like Gadkari as much as what Dr. Bhagwat liked or Sudarshan ji liked or Raju Bhaiya liked? That is the question you need to ask yourself. Does he have the same favor with these people? Chances are no. Chances are Mr. Hosbade, who is the secretary of General Secretary of or Sar Karwaha as they are called of RSS, he has his own favorites. So you are saying that Gadkari was the favorite of RSS, that is pre-2014 RSS, not post-2014 RSS. So the fact remains that favorites change, importance change, preferences change, and people change. So I don't think RSS will even interfere or even comment on Nitin Gadkari's promotion or demotion. They will keep away from it. So that's the way it sees. There was another gentleman called Ram Madhav. Do you remember him?
Yes.
Where is he?
Correct.
Where is he? What changed in... he was the spokesperson of RSS, mind you. He was supposed to be one of the closest person to RSS. Where is he now? Gone. Out. Is anything happened to RSS? Did any change? Nothing. Likewise, Nitin Gadkari. So this is what it is.
Well, but one thing I think everybody is missing out on, or maybe people are not talking much about it, is the non-inclusion of any chief minister, any sitting chief minister in the parliamentary board. I think generally they have a precedent of including one of the sitting chief ministers of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and this time it was sort of expected that Yogi Adityanath might get that position. He might get inducted into the topmost body of Bharatiya Janata Party, but I think he has also been kept out of this topmost powerful body, and I think when I say powerful, because this is the body that decides on who will become the state chief of the Bharatiya Janata Party. This is the body that also finalizes the decision of who will become the chief minister, and this is the body that decides who will be the leader of the opposition if Bharatiya Janata Party is in opposition. And the decision of this committee, parliamentary board, is considered as the final decision. So why not include Yogi Adityanath, who has been the topmost performing chief minister for Bharatiya Janata Party in all standards, so much so that even other states including Karnataka and Madhya Pradesh are now trying to imitate the state. So why keep him out?
ये एक बड़ा सवाल है आरती, कि ऐसा कयास लगाया जा रहा था कि योगी आदित्यनाथ को शायद मतलब संसदीय बोर्ड में जगह मिल सकती है, लेकिन उन्हें नहीं मिली है। और इस बार उन्हें क्या किसी और भी मुख्यमंत्री, चाहे शिवराज सिंह भी हो, वो भी मतलब सीनियरिटी में उनसे आगे हैं, या फिर और भी जो दूसरे मुख्यमंत्री हैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी के किसी को भी जगह नहीं मिली है। ऐसा कहा जा रहा है कि इसकी वजह से वही संदेश देने की कोशिश की गई है कि अभी आपके लिए समय नहीं है, और आप जितना अपने आप को समझते हैं कि शायद आप इतने ज़्यादा महत्वपूर्ण हो गए पार्टी में, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है। और अगर बात करें ये पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड की, तो मुझे नहीं लगता है कि बोर्ड के अन्य सदस्यों को उतना ही कहने या फिर उनके जो कहे हुए चीज़ों को उतना महत्व मिलता होगा, क्योंकि आखिरी बार ये संसदीय बोर्ड का गठन किया था अमित शाह ने 2014 में, वो जब वो बने थे। तो उसके बाद से उसमें सुषमा स्वराज जी थी, अरुण जेटली जी थे, या फिर वो कर्नाटक से जो लीडर थे जिनकी जगह पे तेजस्वी सूर्या ने उनकी सीट से जीता है, तो वो ऐसे बड़े नेता थे जिनकी मृत्यु हो जाने के बाद में वो जगह खाली पड़ी थी, उसको अब तक नहीं भरा गया था, और उसके बाद में अब बोर्ड गठित किया गया है। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि ये बॉडी में जितने लोग हैं उनकी सबकी बात सुनी जाती है, लेकिन ये मुझे लगता है कि योगी आदित्यनाथ को लेकर बहुत ज़्यादा कयास लगाया जा रहा था। लेकिन और भी अन्य अगर चेहरों को देखा जाए, जो संसदीय बोर्ड है, 11 सदस्यों का या बोर्ड है, उसमें कुछ ऐसे नाम हैं जिनके बारे में लोगों को लगता है कि ये कौन है भाई, ये तो पार्टी में मतलब इनके बारे में ना ज़्यादा सुना गया है ना बात की गई है। तो यही है कि जो एक कंप्लीट अपना वो कह सकते हैं कि दबदबा बनाए रखने के लिए, अपने पास पावर रखे रहने के लिए वो निर्णय लिया गया है। सुब्रमण्यम स्वामी हैं, आजकल तो कुछ ज़्यादा ही भारतीय जनता पार्टी के खिलाफ, मोदी सरकार के खिलाफ, प्रधानमंत्री की नीतियों के खिलाफ बयानबाजी करते हैं। वे अब पूर्व राज्यसभा सांसद हो चुके हैं। अब भारतीय जनता पार्टी की तरफ से उनके पास मतलब ऐसा कोई पद नहीं है बड़ा। उन्होंने सवाल उठाया कि पहले चुनाव हुआ करते थे संसदीय बोर्ड में, जो एक प्रथा हमारी हुआ करती थी कि जो भी सदस्य होते थे उनका चुनाव किया जाता था। अभी सिफारिशों के आधार पर जो पार्टी अध्यक्ष हैं वो नाम चुनते हैं, उन्हीं को बना दिया जाता है। तो एक तरह से जो पहले भारतीय जनता पार्टी में जो एक लोकतांत्रिक प्रक्रिया का पार्टी में पालन किया जाता था, उसमें भी कमी आई है।
No election, only selection of these people. But Sujit, what do you think with this, with ouster of Nitin Gadkari from the topmost body? He has been one of the top performing ministers in the Modi cabinet as well. So people expected, like Vinay said, rightly said, that some of his statements also embarrassed the government, but not like that any other ministers or any other leaders of the party did not do so. But you have a top performing ministers, and he also seems to be from the Advani camp. He is a Advani era leader. He has loyalty towards the Advani camp. Other Advani era leaders, including Sushma Swaraj, Arun Jaitley, are not there now. So he was the last person of Advani camp. So this was also, do you think, attempt to get rid of Advani influence in any sort on the BJP?
No. Advani is gone, over. As far as BJP is concerned, his brand is over, his clout is over, his era is over. So that's as far as Mr. L.K. Advani is concerned. See, Arti, you see, politics, there is something called as character. Okay, let us look at Congress. Congress was a very democratic party once upon a time, mind you, very democratic party. Okay, and then came independence, and then came Congress rule, and then came Congress rule, and then again came Congress rule, and then again came Congress rule, and all of a sudden, Congress as a party started as a very democratic party to a party which is absolutely undemocratic, because it became a ownership party of the Gandhi Parivar. Okay? It happened. This is exactly what is going to happen of Bharatiya Janata Party. When Bharatiya Janata Party started off in the 80s, they were very democratic, super democratic party. It was supposed to be the party with a difference. And then they grew, and then they grew, and then they grew, and now they are what they are, and people say that they are going to remain here till 2044 and all of that. Obviously, the democracy goes. So as the party becomes more powerful, the first thing power takes away from the party is democracy, and that's exactly what you're seeing. So that's the party number one. Now, mind you, then, like I told you, in 80s, Bharatiya Janata Party was called a party with a difference. Today, Aam Aadmi Party calls itself a party with a difference. Believe me, if they get power and they come into power, and when they grow and they grow and they grow, the first thing that's going to go out, which I think has already gone out of Aam Aadmi Party, is democracy, is elections, is will. Bhai, it is like this. वोट किसके नाम पे आता है? नरेंद्र मोदी के नाम पे आता है या अरविंद केजरीवाल के नाम पे आता है. सो ऑब्वियसली वोट अगर इनके नाम पे आता है तो जो वो कहेंगे वो होगा. ओके, पॉलिटिक्स वर्क्स दैट वे. व्हाई आर वी एक्सपेक्टिंग ऑल दिस डेमोक्रेसी एंड ऑल दैट? मतलब वोट मैं ले आऊं और फिर आपका सुनूं कि कौन बैठेगा चेयर पे. थिंक अबाउट इट. व्हाई आर वी बीइंग अनरियल? लेट्स बी रियल. आई मीन, दिस इज द वे द वर्ल्ड इज वर्किंग. सो दैट्स हाउ इट इज. तुम वोट ले आओ, तुम्हारे नाम पे वोट ले आओ, और फिर तुम करो जो करना है. Then you become the boss. That's the way it is. So this is what. So that's the reason why possibly as a party becomes powerful, because a party becomes powerful because of an individual. There is nothing called as collective party becoming popular. Party becomes popular because of one or two individuals. And that one or two individuals in that party will rule the roost. Okay, there was, during the time of independence, yes, there was Mahatma Gandhi, there was Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, there was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, there was Maulana Azad, there was Subhash Chandra Bose, there was Dr. Ambedkar. There were so many people. That was during the independence, when there was a movement. The moment the movement is over, moment everything is over, everything we got, finished. But democracy over. That's the way it works. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Arti, unfortunately.
Well, what would be your concluding statement on this, Vinay?
नितिन गडकरी के बारे में यही बस कहना चाहूँगा कि मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि अब राजनीति में, जैसा उन्होंने खुद ही इच्छा व्यक्त की थी कि अब उनका मन नहीं करता है, तो शायद वहाँ से अब फरमान आ जाएगा कि मन नहीं करता है तो रहने दीजिए भैया.
So that was it. Today, as I said, we discussed about Bilkis Bano's case, and we also discussed about Nitin Gadkari's ouster from Parliamentary Board. Do let us know what you think about this in the comment box below, and we will try and meet you every Sunday from this week onwards.